Hello everyone. So now just a quick recap of what we completed the last week with the fertilization topic. So in bullet points. So fertilization, after the pollen grain is transferred to the stigma, it produces a pollen tube. So which passes through the style and enters the ovary and ovule. So in the ovule, the male germ cell fuses with the female germ cell to form zygote. So the male germ cell fuses with the female germ cell to form what? Zygote. So this process is called as fertilization. So these are the very important keywords like zygote, fertilization for 1 mark or 2 mark. They'll be asking you in the exam. So after fertilization, the zygote now divides several times and forms the embryo. First, after the fusion, what did we get? We got a zygote. So this zygote starts dividing repeatedly non-stop. So to form an embryo. So which then develops into a seed. From zygote to embryo, embryo to a seed. So what happens to the ovary? The ovary develops into a fruit. So you can see over here in the picture, the pollen grain is on the stigma. So in the second picture, you can see the male germ cell. So the two sperm nuclei is forming a pollen tube and it is reaching towards the ovary and the ovule. So this you might just generally you can ask that. So how did this pollen tube know that it has to reach towards the bottom point itself? So this is because of chemotropism. So in the other chapters you'll be learning about different tropisms. So this is because of chemotropism. Some chemicals will be released. So then the pollen tube knows its path towards the ovary and the ovule. Okay, so you can see over here, so it has reached in the last picture, you can see, so one sperm fertilizes the central cell, so one sperm fertilizes the egg cell. So this is too high for you, but for a pictorial representation, this is a very good picture to understand much better. So now in bullet points. So process of seed formation, if they ask you for 2 marks or 3 marks. So if you draw the diagram, it's very positive. Okay, so you gain more marks. So pollen grains produced in the anther are transferred to the stigma of the same flower. So then it is called as what? Self-pollination. Or stigma of another flower. So then it is called as cross-pollination. Through agents like, so who are the agents over here? Air, water, animals, insects and all these. So pollen grains germinate to form pollen tube which passes through style to reach up to the ovules present in the ovary. So just now we discussed about that. The fusion of male and female gametes, this process is called as fertilization, but it leads to the formation of zygote. So where is the zygote? Zygote is produced inside the ovary. So zygote divides several times to form embryo. So ovule develops thick coat and changes into seed gradually. What happens to the ovary? Ovary changes into fruit and other parts of the flower will fall off. So the diagram is very clear over here. Germination of pollen on stigma. So the seed germinates to form a plant under suitable conditions such as air and moisture is very much required. So this one diagram I would like to explain over here, figure 8.9, which is germination. So after the germination, so the germination process, you can see there are two cotyledons. So dicot means two cotyledons. If only one single cotyledon is there, so then we call it as monocotyledons. Okay, so these you can see over here. Cotyledons are nothing but they are the reserve food materials for the development of the plant, which is the germination process. So there are two structures which will be formed over here, which is the plumule and the radicle. So plumule will be the future shoot. Future shoot, the stem part, the leaves and all these things and all. So then one more structure you can see which is called as the radicle. Radicle forms the future root of the plant. Okay, so this is a very important diagram which could be asked for 1 mark or 2 mark. So we'll continue in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me.